Hello and welcome to the end of the first week of Time with Tim. So in the last, sort of the weekly schedule, I'm just going to look back and review, what's come the week before. So the invitation essentially is if you haven't had time to catch up on any of the previous sessions, maybe start here and then you can just kind of rewind and scroll back through YouTube and just decide, okay, that's actually most sort of beneficial to me today, right here, right now. I'll just go and watch that one. So this week we're focusing on values for leaders as sort of the first tenet in how you go about building your overall leadership philosophy. So we started really just with talking about why values are important for leaders, and to summarize that, essentially it gives you, in my opinion, a sort of a governing framework and an accountability framework so that you can really share with the world, this is what I think about what's really important to me, and this is why I go about doing things as a leader the way I do. My values are integrity, courage, commitment, care, and collaboration. So I declare those very openly, and I do as much as I can to live them as I lead, and I ask essentially everybody that interacts with me to give me feedback as often as they'd like as to whether or not they feel those values coming through in the work that I do with them. We then moved on to talk about essentially how I've gone about improving my leadership by defining those values. And really, in synopsis, this took me too long. I've been leading for a while now. In a corporate sense, since 2003-4, I had leadership roles as early as 11, but it was really only like last year that I sat down and defined what my values are, and then had this orthodoxy of asking people, do you feel like I'm living my values when we work together? And that took too long. So doing that has improved my leadership significantly. It's really given me this strong correlation point of when I do a really good job and people, especially customers, give me really positive feedback, it's because they feel like I'm living my values. And when I don't get that real good, strong customer outcome and that really positive customer experience, I can generally trace it back to drop the ball on commitment, or they didn't feel the care there. So essentially, I've improved my leadership by living my values. After that, we talked about sort of what I've learned about leadership and values, and actually that this is something which I think is really overlooked by a lot of leaders. And when I've brought it up, either informally, just in a conversation with a leader that I know and I'm working with, or in a process with a formal engagement, I say, what are your leaders' values here? How do they live them? A lot of organizations and the leaders of them, I think, either don't know what their values are, they recognize what's on the wall, what's on the poster that says these are our organization's values, but they don't live them. And if they are living them, it's not consistent enough. So I think this is a real opportunity for leaders. Excuse me. It's not difficult. It's not complicated. What's difficult is being consistent and sticking to it. So after that, I shared a personal insight, which was a bit of a negative one in a way, but I think an important one in that I've left two really great businesses because I didn't feel that the people within those businesses that were leading me had an alignment with my values or were living their values that I aligned with. And I think that that's really important because as you're looking at organizations and you're looking at leaders and thinking, well, I could learn a lot from them and I'd enjoy working for them, ask them about their values and try and find out whether they live those values and that those values align with you. And if you can do that, essentially, I think you'll all be much more successful. And then finally, yesterday, we looked at, we talked previously about how in order to lead well, you need to be well, and how your values can help you do that. And how you need to reflect on the importance of wellness as a leader to ensure that you can lead with your values and live those values. And then yesterday, I took you through just, the 60-second of stillness exercise, just this brief sort of reflective exercise. And we just sort of talked through, sort of a way to reflect on your values and just really sort of, almost scorecard, have I been living my values this week? And as always, I'd recommend that you review that brief reflective exercise, again and again. Mute me, take me out of it, and just use the visual, just as a bit of a meditative process, to reflect on that question: have I lived my values this week? So that's it. That's it for week one. Week two, coming soon, coming tomorrow of Time with Tim, we move to talk about purpose. So the philosophy overall being composed, in my view, of values, purpose, mission, and approach. Week two, we'll talk about purpose. Thank you, as always, for your time and attention. I really look forward to any and all comments, which at the very, very least I will read all of, and I'll respond to as many as I can. I will see you in week two of Time with Tim. Okay, bye.